UFC 199 is in the books in Los Angeles, and it turned out to be one of the most exciting night of fights that you'll ever see. In the night's main event, longtime veteran Michael Bisping shocked the world, knocking out Luke Rockhold in the opening round and claiming the UFC's middleweight title. Rockhold showed little respect for Bisping's striking, and he paid dearly for the mistake.
I believe I had control of that fight from the beginning. I just overcommitted, and he caught me. Bisping's a tough dude. I've always said it. He's a warrior. He'll hang in there, but obviously I didn't respect him enough. I was overcommitting. I tried something I usually normally don't do. I usually don't commit with a jab. I take my time and I work my way in. I got caught.
Meanwhile, Bisping was understandably thrilled at his victory and said he would take time to enjoy his hard-earned result before deciding what's next.
You know what, to be honest, I'm just going to relish the moment. I think I deserve it. 10 years I never got a title fight, and then I just knocked the bum out in the first round. So, I'm just going to relish this moment. I'm going to ride the crest of this wave. I'm going to have a few drinks. I'm not going to do a Tim Sylvia and walk around with this on constantly, but I do envision the mother of all hangovers coming my way pretty soon. Then after that, once that clears, once I drink some water, maybe take a couple of ibuprofen to get rid of the throbbing in my head, I'll take a look at the landscape and see what's knocking out next.
In the night's co-feature, UFC bantamweight champ Dominick Cruz scored an incredible decision victory over Uriah Faber, all but shutting out his longtime rival. Cruz turned in another masterful performance, sticking and moving in trademark fashion, even scoring a few knockdowns along the way. Faber was competitive, but always seemed a step behind the champ.
I've always prided myself on being a guy that doesn't take much damage in fights, and tonight I got caught a couple of times. It's not characteristic of me, so you got to give credit to Cruz for that, but also consider myself as a guy that just turned 37 and in a tough sport. So I didn't feel like fatigue was an issue, but I did get caught a couple of times and got outclassed in the fight, and I don't like that. I love this sport. I love what I do. I've always loved fighting and combat, and I love to train hard, but I want to be at my best.
Cruz now boasts a 13-fight winning streak and deserves some real consideration as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world.
Targets on my back, I can feel it. I love it. I bask in it. Bring it.
Are you able to enjoy the moment, or is it too overwhelming with so many opponents kind of?
I'm in the trenches. I'm always in the trenches. I've been in the trenches this whole time. I was in the trenches on the desk analyzing fights, people saying that they were better than me. It's always been that way. It's never changed. People have always been calling me out. People have always been saying they're better than me. It's the way it is. It's part of being the best, is dealing with that.
In a key featherweight matchup, Max Holloway extended his winning streak to 9 fights, scoring an impressive decision win over Ricardo Lamas. Holloway was dominant in all aspects of the game, using crisp striking on the feet and stuffing Lamas' takedown attempts en route to a clear-cut victory. Afterward, Holloway said he wants a big fight, and he'd prefer it in his home state of Hawaii.
The interim belt is in 200, and now we got Conor fighting at, what weight, 70 again?
Yes, sir.
We see what happens. If I got to go for 10, I'll go for 10. If UFC want to come to Hawaii, they can come to Hawaii with open arms, Been begging these guys to come down, so hashtag UFC Hawaii, guys. Let's get the show down there. I know all you guys want to go to paradise, so come on down.
With the UFC announcing featherweight champ Conor McGregor will indeed rematch with Nate Diaz at UFC 202, the undisputed title will remain on hold. But Holloway has to be involved in any discussion about the belt.
So that fight is still for the interim title. I think if you're Max Holloway and other guys at the top of the division, it does open things up. We haven't gotten that far yet. As Dana has said, Conor was absolutely obsessed with this 170-pound fight, and Nate Diaz had no problem signing up for it again either. So I think the division is wide open right now. We'll see by the end of the year if Conor would like to return and fight the winner. Otherwise, I think it's a good night to be someone like Max Holloway.
In other UFC 199 action, Dan Henderson scored a thrilling knockout victory in what he admitted may have been the last fight of his storied career. And Dustin Poirier cemented his position as a true contender in the lightweight division with a thunderous first-round knockout of Bobby Green. And that was just the main card. Brian Ortega, Beneil Dariush, Jessica Andrade, and Alex Caceres all impressed in their wins, and Polo Reyes and Master Dong Young Kim combined for a true instant classic. It was a thrilling night from start to finish in Los Angeles, and that's what really mattered at UFC 199.